The idea of big ideas, I think, comes from a time when we were very focused on broadcast communications. In a broadcast communication, you're buying time with people, that you need an idea that has impact, has scale, is impressive, and you create that idea and you put it out in the world. Because we're working in a different set of media and the way people engage with media is different, then we're not just buying people's attention, we're not trying to attract their attention. Often what we're doing is we're engaging them, trying to get them involved. And the problem with big ideas is that they are not the best way to engage people. The things that engage people are little things that are simple and easy to start, easy to get involved in, and then you build up to doing more and more and more. So a lot of the ideas we're creating in digital are not big, impressive ideas that nobody else can be part of. They're easier ideas, smaller ideas, simple ideas that people want to be involved in, want to participate in. And I think advertising industry has been so obsessed with the big, iconic, epic idea. And in fact, the little ideas are the ones that change the world more often. Since digital, we've been more involved in system building. And systems is about information, how you get that information to the people. And we've, over time, broken down from sending everybody every piece of information to putting it into apps, tools, utilities. So storytelling is one part of communications, but system building is another part of communications. And the two have to work together. You have to tell a story to drive people to the system, and to keep people using a system, you have to keep feeding back information from that system. Create an intimacy with the brand that is very different from the intimacy you have from the story. At RGA, when we build a platform, we want that platform to live for 3, 5, 10 years. And for that platform to keep living, we have to make it ourselves, because we have to keep changing it and evolving it and building it. So it's not a criticism of advertising agencies, but it's just because of the nature of what we do, we have to make it, and we have to build it and evolve it and keep it changing. It's hard to keep coming up with a totally new idea, a totally new idea, a totally new idea. I think sometimes you don't understand the idea fully, and then the client wants a new idea. So you never really take the idea to its full potential. And I think the reward for me of working on platforms for long periods of time is that you keep discovering new things about this idea that you never really knew were there when you started. So you keep learning, you keep exploring your own idea and adding things to it and making it better. Because we want our ideas to live for 10 years, not for 3 months, 6 months, which is what campaigns do. We have different types of brief because I think there are different types of problem these days. We're creating so many different types of thing that I don't find one brief works. At RGA, we use a vision brief, which is still a big vision for the future of the brand, the future of the business, and where we think their business might go. But we also have practice briefs, which are briefs around a particular assignment or project. And the vision brief and the practice brief is linked by a roadmap. And the roadmap shows how that idea will evolve and change over time. The vision and the excitement around where this business or brand could go still has to be there. But you have to understand how you might get there, the little steps that you take. And that's, for us, why the road mapping and the evolution of a platform becomes really important. When we were briefing an art director and a copywriter to come up with an ad, there was really only one type of information that they needed. But now we're briefing producers, but we're briefing developers, we're briefing coders, we're briefing mobile specialists, we're briefing social specialists, we're building communities. We're not just creating ads, we're building products and services. We're creating so many different things that you can't just use the same information to brief them. We are building a department that is diverse, not to keep those people in their boxes, but so that the rest of the department learn from those people. So we have people with media backgrounds, and we partner them with other planners who may be traditional planners, so that they become knowledgeable about the media landscape. We have data strategists, and they work with all planners, and slowly the planners become better at data. We have social and mobile planners who work with brand planners, and slowly they become better. So a lot of the planners become very good at a broad variety of things, but everyone has a good, strong specialty. Functional integration is really just an observation about how brands are growing differently to how brands have grown in the last 150 years. It's a sort of new phenomena that we haven't seen before, and we're seeing it in lots of different places, and we're seeing it with lots of our clients. The example that was shown at the conference was an example of somebody in the middle of Brazil really just working with a business problem and solving that problem, and he's come to the same conclusion as a lot of our clients have. So the fact that he started doing one thing and then built and did something else and then built something else for those people, some of it was a product, it was an event, some of it was a service, so a recording studio, some of it was content, because he's just solving a problem and inventing a new way to keep making money, keep engaging people, keep having participation from his audience. And because that's what we're trying to do with a lot of big brands, and he's doing it just naturally, I found it fascinating that he's there building a brand in this new way, and we're trying to encourage big brands in New York to build in exactly the same way. I think big brands could learn a lot from Pablo in Brazil. The conference was fantastic because it actually had people from international markets presenting, so you were clearly trying to understand what's going on in the rest of the world. But also you had things in that conference that were as good as anything else in the world. They were world-class ideas. Priscilla and Techno Braga, my favorite. Those things could be internationally interesting. And so I think it's taking those things and elevating them, which is a huge opportunity. Taking the work you do in advertising and elevating it, taking it to other markets, entering awards that are in international markets, not just Brazilian awards. I think it's because of the nature of business has changed since the internet. In the past, a brand grew and became a brand leader, and once they were at the top, they had distribution, they had the shelf space, they had the customers. All they had to do was defend that space, and they defend it by blocking people out. They make it hard for people to hear about the brand because they sort of raise the prices of the TV advertising, at least for the popular TV shows. They block the communication channels, they block the distribution channels. And that's what we've done for many years in protecting brands. We keep our brand where it is at the top of its game. But the internet changed that. The internet opened all the communication channels and made product distribution and information distribution everywhere. And so you can't block the channel, those particular channels anymore. And so new ideas come up, people can sell products on the internet, people can find out about new things, people can hear about existing brands, not from them, but from other people. None of those things were available before. And so what you see is a much more competitive environment and many more new entrants. And the thing is, if you don't change, then the market will change and your customers will change. And if they have other choices, they're going to go with those other choices. So the brands that are still just defending and not changing and not innovating are the brands that lose their position and become obsolete. What my presentation was meant to do for clients was to help them understand that they can't just defend, they have to keep leading, innovating, keeping the category moving forward, keeping the business moving forward, coming up with new ideas. Otherwise, other brands will take the leadership from them. I think the front line right now of change is technology. So if you're in a category where technology is very closely connected with your category, then you're going to see change happening very fast. If you're in a category where young people are involved in the category, you're going to see change happening very fast because they're adopting technology very fast. So your proximity to technology is probably one of the indicators of change, and therefore I would say one of the indicators of potential obsolescence.